Have you ever been in the mood to be very productive? You were like, oh man, I'm going to get so much writing done. I'm excited for this. And then something goes squirrely on you.
Productive? What is this word? What's the definition? Can you give me the definition and the spelling?
Absolutely not. Some of us, Spencer, get this little tingling sensation in the back of our bodies where, where we want to do some work. We're creative and imaginative. Can you reset me? My battery's low.
No, I don't. Is that like sleepy? I get sleepy a lot.
Well, that does go with what I'm about to tell you. Yesterday, I was feeling super productive. And I came downstairs, put my air conditioner on, put some nice background music on. And I was like, I'm going to get some writing done. And I fell asleep at 6:30 and I didn't.
When did you wake up?
I don't know. Mindy came down and got me and I got real mad because I was like, I was having a good dream. And I stumbled upstairs. I don't know. It was 15 hours later. I woke up for work. I was like, what the fuck happened? It's like, did I write that novel or whatever I was supposed to be doing? I don't even remember.
And the worst thing's when you wake up the next day, you're still just tired for some reason.
I was exhausted all day. I don't know. It sucked. Yeah, because then you sleep too. What a dumb design humans are. It's like, if you get 8 hours of sleep, you'll be perfect. But if you get 9 or you get 7, you're dead. You'll feel like shit. You'll feel hot garbage all day and you'll want to die. It's like, great. Not everybody's like that. Kobe Bryant, apparently, he was notorious for only sleeping 3 to 4 hours a night, and that's all he needed.
Yeah, well.
No wonder why he was so productive. But some of us, we need more. I feel like I could sleep just all day.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Like on the weekend, I'm like, I'm going to get up early and do some stuff. And it's usually 1 o'clock I get out of bed. I'm like, oh, what happened? And it's like this foggy stupor. And then I go in the bathroom and piss for 30 minutes straight. And then I lay down again, and then there goes another hour. Needless to say, I'm not very productive on the weekends.
You might get breakfast by 2.
And that sucks, too, because I'm off every weekend. I could get so much writing done. And I never do. Yeah, last night, I was in the mood. But my couch was comfortable. What was that perfect temperature, too, where you don't need the blanket, but you kind of want it. You pull it over, and it's comforting. It's not warming you up because it's not that, it's just the right temperature where you don't need it for warmth. You just need it for the softness.
It's like being swaddled. Swaddled or whatever that is with the babies.
It's like being in the womb.
Well, that's I can sleep without a blanket, but my preferred method of sleep is to be wrapped in a cocoon of blankets and pillows and just be in the cold. Just
we've been on some trips where the room was very frigid. I think our last trip, the room was 42 degrees when we left.
Well,
we just kept turning it down every night.
No, not the last one, because the last one our convention
was in winter.
It was in a blizzard, so. Maybe. That one we had more at a convention, at a normal temperature. But the one before that,
I just like to see how low they could go.
but those were nice because the one was in Pittsburgh and it was super hot that day.
And it felt so good in that room. You just be like, whoo. You can see your breath. It's kind of nice. The wait staff, the maids and stuff, probably get very, very upset because they go and they're like, Jesus, I don't want to flip these. Why is everything so cold? Ah. But, life hack, if your room's below 42 degrees, both sides of the pillow are cold. You don't need to flip it over.
Right.
But be careful, because if they put those mints on your pillow and you bite into one of them, it might break your tooth. It's very cold.
Have we ever had mints on pillows any place we went?
No, because I always feel bad for the cleaning staff, so I just put the do not disturb sign on the door. Okay. Because I wouldn't want to change. Also, I don't want my stuff stolen. Yeah. Because we've been in some sketchy places, so... Anyway, we got a great episode for you.
We do?
What's that noise? Is that a blender? Do you hear that?
A blender, a whistle, or Jeff Bezos' rocket going off?
His dick-shaped rocket. It's gone now. You got a word from our sponsors? We need sponsors. Did you try to get those sponsors I told you to get?
No, you didn't tell me about no sponsors.
Vagisil? You didn't try for Vagisil?
No.
Damn it.
It would have been good for the episode, huh?
Yeah, that's what I want. Damn it, I was really looking forward to that. We had one sponsor, and I don't remember what the name of it was. It was a podcast or something, remember? We got 37 cents.
Yeah.
I thought we were big time after that. Oh, yeah. 2 things I wanted to tell you before we go on hiatus for 13 seconds or however long the intro music is. One, one of our most, I'm just telling you because it goes the opposite of what this episode's about.
Okay.
One of our most downloaded episodes as of late, with a lot of great feedback, is, you want to guess? How to Write with Balls!
Yeah?
They loved it!
Nice.
They fucking loved it!
Awesome.
How to Write with Balls. Who would have thought? Damn it. What I thought was going to be a sure stinker in today's climate, it did Usher 1998 numbers.
Nice.
I don't know if he was popular in 98. I have no idea. Also, we had, I think I might have already told you this. Somebody reached out because they really liked our Murakami episode.
You
Yeah, I think I told
mentioned
you
it, but you didn't really go into detail about it.
Man, I probably won't now. So stick around. We got a great episode for you in just a minute. Hola, ¿cómo estás, Spencer?
See.
This is the Drunken Pen Writing Podcast. I'm your host, Caleb James. With me today, Spencer, the Somalian stripper soaker church. I was going to put super soaker, but then stripper came to mind. And you're soaking them. With what? I don't know. I think we might have actually had Somalian before, but we landed on Mogadishu or something, some city, and I couldn't pronounce it. So I did not go with that. I went with Somalia. Because it would have been like Mogadishuian. I don't know. I don't know anything. Today's episode is brought to you by Squarespace. No. What are we doing? I already forgot. I'm just going to breathe heavily into the mic. We're offside of the mic. I got diabetes. Apple a day keeps the IBS away. Oh, this was written by Mr. Ashley Hatter. I said we should have got him on air to read it in his Nigel Thornberry voice because while we might turn some listeners off after a whole episode of that, I would love to hear it.
Yeah.
Could you imagine how long it would take? This one, I might have to, I don't know what I'm going to do with the title of this because I feel like the title is going to make people not want to listen, but they should because it's a good one. 4 reasons why dudes should read Jane Austen. I know you're a huge Austenite. Austin 316,
yeah.
What up?
Yeah. What?
What?
How many people just did that throughout the whole podcast? What?
Oh, I hated that. That's when I started, that's when I was, not watching wrestling anymore, is when they started doing the what, and John Cena, before he was wham, bam, bam, wham, when he was the rapping thug guy, and it wasn't for me. This article's 5 minutes long. Do we got 5 minutes to read?
Maybe.
And by 5 minutes, I mean 30 minutes, because that's how long it takes to read it. It's just 5 minutes. This is on the website. Just as a heads up, no, as far as the publishing of this article goes, I haven't even finished a fucking Jane Austen novel. Oh, great start! This was published in October 2020, so it's been a while since I read this. So, he's not read a fucking Jane Austen.
Good job, Ashton.
Gag episode over. Okay, so he hasn't...
We should really check these before we start the episode.
No, then that makes it not as fun. So he hasn't read one, but I am reading one, and yes, it is the iconic, the all-encompassing, the masterpiece that allowed Colin Firth, sorry ladies, my lady prefers the BBC version of Nightly Incarnation.
There's a joke there, I won't go out it because of respect.
Yes. To achieve one of his most heartthrob-inducing roles outside of the King's Speech. It reminds me of this, what do you call those, a reel. There's this comedian lady I follow now. She has some funny reels, but one of the ones was, it was her and, her boyfriend or something, and he was like, oh, can we watch Love Actually tonight? And he asked her who's in it, and she's like, Hugh Grant, says a couple other names, and she's like, Colin Firth, and she says his name, I was like, what? And he's like, Colin Firth, and apparently that's how you have to say his name. It's really fucking stupid. I don't know why, but that tickled my funny bone.
Someone's kind of like that, Matt Damon!
I hope Ashley doesn't listen to this episode. He might not be too happy how we're reading his article. I am currently reading and have not finished Pride and Prejudice by the Belle herself, Jane Austen. A quick question my wife asks me every 20 pages or so, but I'm assuming you're wondering as well. Are you enjoying it? Before we go on to why he thinks, because from what I remember, he did enjoy the book. I've never had any interest in reading any of those.
Are those bigger?
Probably. The subject matter is what turns me off. I just don't care about, like... I feel like this is like the classic romance or romance comedy genre before that was a thing. Like, and then I mean classic as in Victorian age.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, she asks, are you enjoying it? And he says, and my answer, if I want to increase my chances of sex that night, yes, honey. And I'd like even more to watch the BBC version with you. You sure you don't want to make that joke? All right. It was right there.
It is.
All right. You don't like the British Broadcasting Channel. But my answer, if I respect my wife and don't want to pander to the masculine needs of procreation, yes, honey, and I'd like to even more to watch the BBC version with you. You see what I did there? It was a trick question. But in all seriousness, I have to say that, while I'm not fawning over it, I am enjoying it. Now comes the part where I try to you motherfucker with your clickety-clacks.
Sorry.
You know how loud that pop is? Oh, where was I? Now comes the part where I try to describe what that means before I jump into the waters of trying to explain why dudes should read Jane Austen. I'll keep this short. When I say enjoying, what I mean is that I am both appreciating the style of writing the author is employing and finding amusement in the subject matter that they are focusing on. Is it possible to do one or the other in total isolation? Absolutely, but this is not the article to discuss the matter. He's very definite with that. He's a man of great character, and by great character, I mean he is very stern in his beliefs.
That's good.
This small page exists to help the wonderfully well-read and cultured ladies out there convince their heathenistic mongoloid male counterparts that reading Jane Austen is not only a worthy endeavor, sure to shore up the sex life, but also a means of refining their own taste and appreciation for the finery of the English language arts. Well, Ashley just called me a mongoloid.
Yeah.
That makes me happy.
Well, I mean, it's not like he's too far off.
No, I couldn't say this with all sincerity, though. If I was like, Mindy, I'm reading Jane Austen, she'd go, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, she wouldn't care.
No, I would not get more sex from that. I'd probably get less sex if I was like, what are you doing tonight? No, reading Jane Austen. Wait till I'm done.
She'd be like, who the fuck's Jane Austen?
Who is that hussy? And why are you talking about her in this house?
Why are you reading her book? Why are you reading my book? Honey, you don't have a book. It don't matter.
I feel like if she wrote a book, she'd probably just immediately win the Pulitzer Prize for some reason, because that's just how life works.
Yeah.
Number 4, Jane Austen helps you speak gooder. There is no getting around the fact that the characters in Jane Austen's novels are some of the most irritatingly well-spoken individuals to have existed within the confines of fictional literature. It's so posh, so proper, that it makes you want to punch a wall or hold your bow out to the nearest brute mean mugging you and ask, "Please, sir, may I have some..." Oh, God damn it, Ash. He went fucking... no. You know what?
He went posh?
He went posh. Let me do it again.
Take 5.
I don't want to edit this. It's so posh, so proper that it makes you want to punch a wall or hold your bowl out to the nearest brute mean mugging you and ask, "Please, sir, may I have some more?" British people don't speak like that. They don't say hiv. They say av with no H. You know what always irritates me about British people, at least the stereotypes? You know, they say hello, they say hello. They always get rid of that H.
Yeah.
But when they say herb, they say herb. Why you got to put the H there? Why are you pronouncing the one H you're not supposed to pronounce, but all the other ones you don't? You leave them off. Oh, Hank Hill. What the fuck? I don't know, but I want to read that better. More. I want to read that now. Fucking hold on. It's flipping. It's flapping. It's flippity flapping.
This podcast out of control.
Yeah, they can't all be winners. Even Poe, with all of his well-educated heroes and villains, lacks in the realm of verbal propensity. Austen is the queen of the verbal playground, both in pacing and vocabulary, and a smart man would do well to learn the subtle and influential arts of proper oration to impress his lady.
But do you really need that now for your writing? Because unless if you're writing a story like that,
I don't think anybody wants you to have big words.
Yeah, okay. I mean, because like, say even if you wrote a story now taking place over in Europe or England or whatever, they don't talk like that now. That to me is an excuse to why not to read the book.
The language?
Yeah, the language, just the prim proper, just the naughty-toity of it all. Just, you know what I mean? Just, it's not my bag, baby. Not my bag.
I think that's a big reason why ladies like reading Jane Austen, though, because they enjoy the language. Or maybe, as he said, intellectually superior, well-educated, non-mongoloids.
I think they like...
We're mongoloids, Spencer. Just admit it.
Oh, I'm not denying that fact. I think maybe the reason that girls like it is because aren't they normally a woman-focused book? You know, like stories? Isn't a lot of her stuff like, you know, like lead character females and stuff like that? So they probably enjoy that because, you know, they see themselves in that character more. Kind of like how all the white guys get mad whenever they change their characters into females. But they get mad because it's not their character anymore.
You want to continue?
I'm just saying.
Yeah, just to see, you know, how far of a... how down and low you can get with this.
I don't think I dug a hole.
You bitches like Jane Austen because it makes you think you're going to get married. But guess what? Nobody likes you because you're homely. Is that too hard? I feel like if you called a woman homely, that would be worse than like saying you whore, you slut. Like if you just called her homely, like, oh God. Like they'll go home and have a long look in the mirror and like, if without makeup, am I homely? Like they're just, I thought I was a natural beauty. Number 3, the posh life is where it's at. Please, for the sake of my rum-addled brain, excuse the improperly placed prepositional phrase at the end of the bolden sentence. Let's focus on the grit, the meat and bones, as it were, of that sentiment. Is the posh life, as I put it, really where your lady wants to be? Of course it is. No matter the verbal cues, jabs at high society, or the sneering at celebutantes, that's a word I never read, it seems that most members of the fair and most attractive sex would like to fit into the realm of the posh, of the well-to-dos and fancy fews, and when you really think about it, as a guy, why shouldn't you want your lady to be a part of that lifestyle? I don't want her to be a part of the lifestyle because that would be irritating.
Yeah, right?
I want a girl that ain't afraid to get down in the mud. She ain't ready to know where to be the dib did flap at the job.
But I don't need her to be wearing gloves up to her elbows. Like, that's ridiculous.
Could be kind of hot. Like, was there like those soft velvet gloves or chafing cracked leather gloves or rough sandpapery mechanic gloves or thermo insulated? Never mind. I don't know where I was going with that. My brain is not here today. I'm very surprised I'm able to even read some of these words he put in this article. Like the word celebutant. I never read that and said it out loud at the same time. Yeah. It's a weird looking word. It should be celebutantes. That's one thing. If I read this article or any article for that matter when we first started the podcast, I would have been a real dunderhead. That would have been a mush mouth. I wouldn't know how. Even though I'm still not very well with my orating skills, I feel like I've gotten better. And it makes her feel elegant. It makes her feel fancy and like a goddess on earth, which every woman is, if we're honest. Yeah. I don't think he lives around a lot of crack whores.
Yeah.
For the sake of argument, I'll say every woman's a goddess in her own way. Her own beautiful way. This is not going to get us any fans.
I think this is going to do the opposite of what you planned this episode to do.
We're writing with no balls. And if you're a secure guy, you're going to want that for her too. And the best way for a guy to feel secure, aside from working out regularly, is to speak and know about posh topics. Read some Austen and lay down some awesome insights into the upper class of British society. It's sure to impress. I don't know who Ashley is hanging out with.
Yeah, right?
Because I know if I bring up some posh British high society in my conversation, no matter who it is in my area, they're all going to look at me like I am something wrong with me.
Like, who?
What?
Like, what are you talking about?
I'm wondering.
They'd be like, posh, you mean like the Spice Girl?
I don't.
Kinda.
I just feel like he's been hanging out with more educated folks than us. Or, maybe his wife's just really smart. My wife does not read Jane Austen. Number 2. Dude, there's like literally soldiers and badasses in here. Well, this might speak to you, Spencer. Maybe. There's soldiers and badasses. Different. Doesn't mean you can be a soldier. That doesn't mean you're a badass.
Yeah.
And you can be a badass, but you might not be a soldier. But you could also be both. No, I'm not kidding. There are dudes in here that would put you to shame if you were to compare how bad you suck at defending your lady's honor. Like, these guys are willing to murder and maim other guys for anyone saying the wrong thing to their woman or even looking at her wrong. And what is it you are going to do, brother? I had that. Stock. Did you know I just started to go into it? Like, I was like, what are you going to do? Like, I just put my macho man.
I saw you the hand.
Sorry, it just got me revved up. I'm going to reread that as Macho Man, by the way. Let me finish this. Stalk the other guy on Facebook and post how big of a loser he is? Wow, how manly. Now, I got to read that like Macho Man. That is like...
You should have been doing this whole episode as Macho Man.
Like, these guys are willing to murder and maim other guys for anyone saying the wrong thing to their woman, brother. Or even looking at her wrong. And what is it you're going to do, brother? Stalk the other guy on Facebook? And post about how big of a loser he is, huh? What a jabroni he is, brother. That hurts. I started losing it there.
Was jabroni you or was jabroni in the article?
I'm the jabroni for trying to do that. That's why I didn't do the whole episode like that. So anyway, yeah, they defend a woman's honor, and most guys now don't even want to get the car door for their lady.
Though sometimes you nowadays you try to defend a woman's honor and they get pissed at you. Sometimes.
They say chivalry's dead, and they say the woman killed it.
I didn't say that, but
Spencer said the only reason that you can't hold a door for a woman is because feminism. Send all angry letters to Spencer at boner96949 at cum.org.
That's probably an actual email.
So while you act like a total cuck on the interwebs, attempting to defend your lady's honor, the guys in Austen's novel gallivanting around with freakish badass military records and swords strapped to their muscular thighs are threatening to cut a bastard's face off or even sneezing in the direction of his lover. If that's not enough to light a fire under your ass to start some shit on behalf of your lady, I don't know why you put the yo ass in there.
Very not posh.
It's throwing me off. If that's not enough to light a fire under your ass to start some shit on behalf of your lady, then you don't deserve that, princess boy. Why do you write it like that? Go back to passive aggressive tweeting while the Mrs. Darcy of the world stab a dick in the face and ride off with your lady in the glorious golden sunset. I'm gonna have to text him when this episode comes out. Like, man, what did you do to me? What? Hold on, I gotta read Daddy. Go back to passive aggressive tweeting while the Mr. Darcys of the world stab a dick in the face and ride off with your lady into a glorious golden sunset.
So you stab somebody in the face with your dick? Or is your dick getting stabbed with somebody's face?
It doesn't matter. Mr. Darcy's getting your lady is what he's saying. Oh, and I got a nice picture of a couple riding off in the sunset on a horsies. Oh. Number 1, drama ain't just for your mama. What was he fucking...
Wait, what?
I feel like he was watching something about like the royal wedding or something when this was going on, and then like switched to fucking, I don't know, like some old WB shows like the Wayans Brothers or the Parkers or something. So drama ain't just for your mama. Yes, there is drama in the Austen novels. Yes, there is relationship tension that seems to never end. And yes, there seems to always be that whiny B word of a potential mother-in-law that won't quit being irritatingly crass in public settings. Seriously, Mr. Bennett, what made you marry that harpy? Ooh, harpy's another one. You call a woman a harpy. If she knows what it is, she's gonna be offended.
She's gonna be upset about it.
I'm thinking she was a frickin' total babe and he wasn't too proud to pass that up. Oh, yeah. But dudes, you can't tell me your own lives aren't filled with equivalents of... My throat hurts from Macho Man. Got too riled up here. In Jane Austen episode. But dudes, you can't tell me your own lives aren't filled with equivalents to that sort of thing. Replace relationship tension with drama within NFL drafts, workplace shenanigans where your manager fucks you over for a promotion, or the latest Call of Duty bullshit involving in-game microtransactions for shitty cosmetics and dumbass gear improvements that don't do shit for your profile and make it impossible for you to effectively prestige... Oh my god. He hates Call of Duty, I think.
But like all those things women also do. They get mad at their managers, they can play Call of Duty, and they can do fancy football.
Yeah, that's why he's comparing man's things to ladies in the novel. That's why you should like the novel, because you can relate. Did you hear what I was saying?
No. I kind of stopped after the stabbing your dick in the face.
You're still stuck on the Mr. Darcy's dick?
Yeah.
If you can handle all the drama in those things, then the drama within an Austen novel is something you can totally handle. Crappy families, poor life choices, dark past coming back to haunt you. It's like a Batman comic, but with British accents and more lace. You've got this. I got fucking British Batman, by the way. That's a good picture choice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Knight and Squire.
Yep. Spencer, we had no thing. Fucking jerk. Why don't you know Jane Austen, huh? You don't know high society stuff, but you know fucking Batman!
I do know the Batmans live different places.
In summation, for the dudes out there who've made it this far, please don't discount Jane Austen or her works. The lady was a total literary beast who put the smackdown on so many other authors it'll make blood pour out of every pore in your face hole. This kind of reads like my overly manly How to Write with Balls episode.
Kinda.
She's a master writer who deserves to be read by a varied audience, both in experience and taste. Yes, she's known as the godmother of the romance genre, and yes, that seems to detract men from approaching her works. But why should it? We're all creatures of passion, after all, and if the wooing of women and the art of seduction aren't worthwhile ventures in a man's life, then there might be something else going on that needs adjusting. So dudes, read Jane Austen, learn the works and be able to quote iconic lines, then sit down to watch the movies with your lady, and watch her swoon as you whisper in her ear, "The books are better." So what do you think? Make you want to read Jane Austen?
No.
Not even the Mr. Darcy stabbing with the dick. Dick stabbing. If there was a scene where he stabbed her in the face with his dick.
Well.
On horseback.
I'd probably just try to just try to find that scene.
You're an uncultured fucking heathen.
I am. It's just I'm not interested in the subject matter. Or just even anything that old. Because, when was that written?
Around the time H.G. Wells was alive, I think.
Oh, really? I thought it was older than I thought it was a little bit before that stuff.
You sexist. Let me look up Jane Austen. Jane Austen. Okay, you were right. 1775 to 1817 was her lifespan. So, it was earlier than H.G. Wells.
No, I wouldn't say, because you bring that up, that's probably about the farthest back, other than, I read, Beowulf in high school.
Why don't you read The Odyssey?
I've thought about that.
No, I'm going to give you a list real quick of what you're going to read in order starting tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
You're going to read the Epic of Gilgamesh.
All right.
I believe that's the oldest. The Iliad, the Odyssey.
And aren't those all just kind of the same thing?
Shut up. Oh, no, they're totally different. One's Greek, one's Roman. I don't know. You got to read the Divine Comedy as well.
That's poems, isn't it?
It's all poems. That's all they wrote back then.
Oh.
None of those were written when they were made. They were just passed down orally through the generations until some guy's like, I'm going to make some money off of this. And I'm going to fucking hand carve this into a stone or whatever they did. And yeah. So which one of those would you want to read the most?
I always kind of been interested in the Odyssey or a lot of those Greek, Roman things. I remember a few years ago History Channel had a mini special, they had 8 or 9 episodes, and one episode was the Odyssey, the other one was the what's the guy that's half person half bull in the maze?
Centaur?
Yeah, like that.
Or is he a Minotaur?
Minotaur.
What's the difference between a centaur and a Minotaur?
I think isn't one of them's the bull head and stuff like that.
The one's a horse or something?
Yeah, I think the other one's person top and horse bottom.
The Minotaur's the bull one.
I'm pretty sure, yes. But yeah, I've always been kind of interested in those kind of things. I've just never, other than watching maybe some documentaries or anything about it, I haven't actually read the...
I would if a Neil Gaiman would write it. Do his version of the Odyssey or, any of those. Because I think that would be a little more palatable because I have really be in the mood to read, that epic poem type of style, and even then I'm usually I get burnt out real quick. Going back
now those set up those poems they're not set up how poems today are set up, are they?
I don't think so.
With rhyming and things being you know what I mean?
Well, with the translation they couldn't be. So I don't know. We'll check after this podcast is over because we're smart guys. We'll be sitting here reading the Divine Comedy together in a huddle because they're not fucking Jane Austen because they're fancy. Let's go back to Jane Austen for a minute.
Not.
Shut up, Spencer! Going back to Jane Austen, some of her notable works: Pride and Prejudice, Sense and Sensibility, Persuasion, Mansfield Park.
Maybe I would like that one.
Gloucester Northanger, Emma, Sedition and the Watsons, and that's all I'm going to go on that list. So, Pride and Prejudice. But would you at least try Pride and Prejudice and Zombies?
Ooh, maybe. Well, and I'm not trying to take anything away from her work or anything. It's just one of those.
I'm the same as you. The subject matter never enticed me.
Yeah.
It's the same reason I haven't gotten around to reading Anna Karenina. I don't care about the aristocrats,
You're right.
I don't care about princesses and high society and rich. Even like Dickens, I have a problem with at times when it gets to like the rich people stuff because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like the poor class, yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
the rich high society folks, I ain't jiving with that too much.
Especially from things written back from that actual time period. I think like if a modern writer would tell a story back in that time period now, I think just because of the writing styles, I would maybe be able to get into it like a little bit easier, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I just think that's and isn't she also like on those kind of like longer books too?
Probably, I would imagine.
At least like Pride and Prejudice, isn't that a pretty decent sized?
Pride and Prejudice. Oh, come on, guy, just tell me the page count.
But she probably would have been like one of the first like big famous writers, right? Female writers.
I think so, or just writers in general. The writers weren't really. It was hard to become a famous writer back then, like in the late 17, early 1800s.
Just getting your work around.
Yeah, Pride and Prejudice is no, it's not 2 hours and 15 minutes. That's the fucking movie. This is the world we live in. Novel. Let me see the novel.
Page count.
I just went to Goodreads. It is. Oh my god! I don't care how many words it is. You know what, Spencer? It's 408 pages.
That's not too bad.
No, it's not. So, folks, if you want to read Pride and Prejudice and let us know how it is,
yeah,
you can reach us at Drunk Pen Writing on Twitter, Drunken Pen Writing on Instagram and Facebook, or you can go to drunkenpenwriting.com. We have a contact form, and we still have fiction on there that they can read, right? Like stories. They're not going to be posh.
No, and they're going to be older. There's nothing really new.
But not that old compared to Jane Austen.
No. Just our older work.
Well, I've had like something on there like a couple weeks ago.
Well, fuck you then.
Some of us write.
Fuck you, guy.
Fuck you, buddy.
I'm not your buddy, friend.
I'm not your friend, guy. Instead of doing that for 8 hours, we'll just end the episode. Thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoyed this, and also Right with Balls.
Right with Balls. And vaginas.
I wanted to scream it, but my throat hurts after Macho Manning. That was rough. See you later. Adios, muchachos.